Hello everyone and welcome to today's video, and in this video I'm going to be doing something kind of cool that I'm excited about, and I'm going to be dyeing my hair with henna. So if you're new to the channel, I make content around homesteading, homemaking, and just simple natural living. And so I thought it'd be fun to kind of share this little henna hair situation because it is a natural way to dye hair. I am a huge advocate for natural products and things that we use on our bodies, and spreading some education just around the harms of certain things that we use on our bodies and just looking into alternatives. So I definitely thought this would be fun to kind of share how this goes, the process, what I am going to do, and just to kind of see the end result too. Maybe you're thinking about dyeing your hair and you're not sure what route you want to take. Maybe this can help you make a decision. So first off, I'm going to be putting this henna on my natural hair. This is all up here, my natural color, and down here on this side has some bleach treatment from however many years ago, me getting highlights. But so this is a natural color. I think it's like a level 7, I believe. So basically that color that people will argue about whether it's blonde or brunette. That's completely your call. I will leave it up to you, but that is what we're working with. And so the henna I'm going to be using today is a mixture of henna and cassia. So the goal of that is to have it be kind of a more strawberry toned reddish color opposed to super maybe more burgundy. I personally don't think cool tones would work very good on me. I think I definitely need something more golden toned. But basically I'm just doing this for fun, to do something different with my hair, and definitely to go an all natural route. I would either at this point in my life always just keep my natural color or use something like henna. And since I've never used it before, I just feel kind of like I want to try it. I'm curious to see the difference that the color looks on my natural hair opposed to down at the ends where it's more bleached out. The only thing really you can't achieve with henna is going lighter. So I could not get a lighter color on my hair. I could not go to a lighter blonde with henna. But any color you're starting off with, you can go darker. You can achieve reds of all varieties, you can achieve browns, and you can even achieve black. If you're starting with lighter hair and want to have more strawberry blonde hair, you can mix in cassia with your henna, and then it becomes a more lighter tone. So you really can achieve a lot of things, and it's not going to break your budget. And it's actually, a lot of people use henna and henna treatments not even just for color, but to do a nice treatment to the hair, because it has a lot of good things in it that can really benefit your hair. The only thing I have heard is that it can dry your hair out a little bit. So if you have really dry hair to begin with, you might think of a treatment plan for the dry hair to use afterwards. You don't want to use a super oiling on your hair, because oil can pull the henna color from your hair. So with all that said, this is the henna that I got. It is henna and cassia mixture, and you want to make sure if you're thinking about henna, you just get pure henna powder. Like I said, either mix with cassia or indigo, those natural powders, because there's definitely brands of henna that are not natural too. So you really have to keep a lookout for that. There is no natural liquid henna that comes in a liquid, because you have to add something to it to keep it in that liquid form. So really make sure you check your ingredients. This is a really good brand. I also have found, since buying that, a YouTube channel called Henna Sook, and I am really getting a lot of information about henna from her. She's very knowledgeable, and I believe she has a shop and sells all these products as well, so you can check that out too. But with all that, let's get into the process, because it does take a little bit of time. First, we're going to mix up our powder. I'm going to use a warm water, and that's the only thing I'm going to add to mine. Some people like to add lemon juice or things like that, or use tea. I'm not going to today. Lemon juice can dry out the hair more, and I just kind of want to see the result with just the pure powder with the water and see how that will come out. Also wanted to mention that typically it's recommended to do this on clean hair. So I washed my hair last night, and I'm probably going to dampen it a little bit again as I'm putting it on, but you'll probably want to wash your hair before putting the henna on. So let's just go ahead and get into this process. So in this bowl, I have about 170 grams of the mix of cassia and henna, and I'm just gonna add some warm water. And I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time. The consistency that I'm going for by the end is kind of like a thick yogurt consistency. You want it to be nice and spreadable. So about like this, I think I may need to add a little more water, but this is a pretty good consistency. So I may just add just a little bit more. You don't want it to be runny, but you want it to be nice and easy to spread. And I just went ahead and put some saran wrap over it, and I'm just gonna let it sit for a few hours to really let the dye have a chance to release. Okay, the dye is ready and it is now time, but I am definitely not going to be wearing this attire because henna stains like anything it comes into contact to that you can't easily wash off. So let us change. Seamless transition, I hope. Okay, let's get a last look at my before hair and what we're working with. So I think the best course of action here is to kind of part my hair into maybe like 4 different parts, kind of a left front and back and a right front and back maybe. Oh, and I definitely need to remember that I have gloves. If you don't have gloves, it's not the end of the world, but the henna will stain your hands for a couple days, so if you have gloves, might as well use them. I just happen to have them. And yes, before anybody asks, this is a paintbrush for like painting like wood. I know there's hairbrushes for things like this, but I had this. So I guess I'm just starting with my roots, I think. And I'm going to really try to get close. I might as well just stain my scalp because it goes away. This feels really good on my head. I kind of feel like I'm going to be looking like I'm cosplaying as like a sludge monster. But I really like the smell of it too. And a lot of people say it smells kind of like poopy outdoor smell, and maybe that just means I like the smell of manure. But yeah, it's really not that bad, especially if you like natural smells. This is not bad. I really actually like it a lot. So I don't think I've ever done anything like this before. I can go through a little rundown while I'm doing this of my hair journey, my personal hair history, you may say, and what I've done to it over the years, which really isn't a whole lot. I've always been a pretty low maintenance person and not wanting to do things to make my life any higher maintenance. But I've definitely done things to my hair over the years, and one of the first things that I did was I used to get highlights in my hair since like middle school, and I don't remember whose idea it was, if it was my idea or my mom's idea, but I would get those, and not super consistently because it blended really well with my natural hair color, and so that was great. It worked out. The only big thing that I've really done with my hair is senior year of high school. I bought like a Walmart box dye, and it was supposed to be brown. I don't really know why, what got a hold of my brain to make me want to do it, but I did, and it was supposed to be like a nice chocolatey brown. It made my hair more like auburn, kind of brownish red. It definitely wasn't bad, but I think browns like that are just not necessarily good for me particularly. And then not long after that, then I actually did get my whole hair bleached, and it was quite bleached blonde. And once I did that, I never like touched it up or anything. I just let my natural hair grow out from that. And that must have looked pretty bad, honestly, at some points. But I didn't think to add like my natural color or closer to it back into it once I bleached it to like make it more seamless. I just kind of bleached it to get the box color out of it and then just let my hair grow out. And that was my senior year also, which that was 2016 into 17. And since then, I've really not done much with my hair. I'm trying to remember because these ends that are more bleached don't seem to be all the way throughout. So that must be some kind of highlights and not still from me bleaching my hair out. But I can't really remember. My childhood best friend went to hair school um, out of high school, and so she definitely did some stuff to my hair for me that I don't really even remember. So she must have put some highlights or something in it. Just a couple of years ago, she put in some pretty pink highlights, and maybe that was when the blonde highlights were done because the pink wasn't permanent. It came out eventually. But yeah, since then I've really embraced a fully natural hair journey, and I really have no interest in doing anything chemical based to my hair. But that's not to say I don't ever want to do anything fun or different, and that's why I thought I would try henna because I knew about henna too growing up, but I always heard that it was like impossible to get out, which is not true. It can be quite difficult, but you can get it out if you want to. And so that if I regretted it or didn't like the color, it would be like impossible to go and get it like bleached out, which is not untrue. It would be difficult to do so, but I guess I just don't care. I think it'll look fine, and if it doesn't, then I can live with that. I will probably have to come back and add more to this part later, but for now, I'll just clamp it, I think. Yeah, that works. Oh, I definitely did not mention, but it's probably a good thing because we don't really talk about it. When I was in middle school, I had quite the little hairdo going on. That was the era of the scene aesthetic. And I thought it was the coolest thing, all the people having like the raccoon tails, I think they called it, just those side swoop bangs. And so I somehow convinced my mom to cut bangs, and I think I would have done a better job if she let me do it, to be honest, but she cut them, and they were not like the side swoops that I wanted. They were just more bang bangs. Not bad for bangs, but I wanted like side swoop bangs. And I dyed it pink. So that was a look. That was a moment in time. It is definitely funny looking back on what I thought was cool that the older kids were doing at the time and how that is just, it's so different. It changes so fast. I am kind of really enjoying just putting all this goo, this green goo on my hair. It feels really nice, actually. But I've been doing a lot of rambling, so I think I'll just put some tunes on and finish up, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna wrap it up. And be close to you. Oh my. Okay. So, this is really cool. I currently have a just pile of hair sitting on my head, which is really neat. I don't think I've ever had stuff in my hair in a way that it just stays like this. This is really cool. I think I got everything. You'll be able to tell if I didn't. And I got a little bit left over. That's fine. Everybody said, "Oh, this is so messy. It's so messy. It gets everywhere, all over your bathroom." And I was like, no, it's not that messy. And it's not that messy on the bathroom, actually. It'll only take a couple little bits. But me as a person is extremely messy. So I'm gonna get something to wipe this off before I have huge stains all over me. It comes off the counter just fine, by the way. But I think if I left this on my body, it would not come off very soon. So now what I'm gonna do is literally plastic wrap my head. Let's see. This is quite something. This is so fun. And now that my hair is plastic wrapped, there's my little sleeping hat on top. I'm gonna leave this on my head just like this for 3 hours, I think. From what I have read and heard, more than 4 hours literally does pretty much nothing more. So 3 to 4 hours is like that max time of letting it set in fully. So we're gonna see how that goes. I am debating whether to do my eyebrows. And let me just be clear, the packaging, like this company, doesn't recommend doing it with the eyebrows. I'm not sure why, if it's just because the fear of getting it in your eyes, which would not be good. But there's nothing about it that would make it be harmful to like the eyebrows themselves. Do I do it? Do I do my eyebrows? Okay, if I'm gonna do it, I need to get a smaller brush. I'm silly. I do hope that I don't just stain my skin orange underneath my eyebrows, because that would look kind of funny. That might be what happens, but I'm testing it out for science. There we go. Okay, we will see how this all turns out when we get to washing this out. So I will see you then. And that is the end result of my little henna dye treatment. I really like it. It is very much what I was hoping for. It's just a nice subtle change that in some lightings it actually still kind of looks very much like my hair used to be, and then in other lightings it definitely has that really pretty reddish tone. So I really enjoy it, and the great thing about henna too is it's so customizable. So you can yourself go ahead and purchase henna and cassia if you're going for those darker tones, indigo, and really make your own blend that you really like. I am very happy with this. I really like how natural it looks. It's honestly pretty much the exact color that my grandmother's hair was when she was my age, so that's really cool. So that's gonna do it for today's video. If you like this kind of content and would like to see more in the future, please consider subscribing to join this community of like-minded folk. I put out a new video every single Monday, and it's always just based around homemaking, homesteading, or just living a more slow, simple, and natural life. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!